That's right. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing out there? That's right. My voice is hoarse. I've just been sneezing all day, so allergies be damned. So we are talking some shit. That's right. Today what we're going to talk about is the, what do you want to call it? The shrapnel that FL2k caused. And just like I said on the last show, I just sat on my ass and just watched the whole eliminations in an hour on television. Didn't have to go there. Didn't have to worry about the heat. Didn't have to worry about the rain. Didn't have to worry about anything. Didn't have to worry about people coming up to me saying stupid shit. I simply watched it online and I got pretty much the experience. There it is. So what I want to talk about is how the Coyote engine is elite. Not elite for stock. It is elite. The Coyote motor, non-billet, cast stock block, sleeve, worked over, yes, a Coyote variant, helped push a 3,000 plus pound car to 6.3 at over 224 miles an hour, which literally puts it in the same league as Noonan billets, as big block billets, as Billy badass stuff out there. Now, a lot of people are going to refute that and say, no, guys, it's an elite motor. So what you're going to see in the next couple of months is every motherfucker jumping on the bandwagon. This channel has been saying the Coyote motor is the bee's knees, is the best shit around. And everyone's like, you're just a nut rider. You're just a nut rider. You don't know nothing. Okay, 1,000 horsepower with stock shit like Jake's truck and thousands of others that we've tuned. We thought, imagine if someone competent gets their hand on this motor and really gets after it. We'll talk about that person. We'll talk about that shop. We'll talk about FL2k. We'll talk about how it made Cletus sell his Godzilla motor or get it out of there because, let's be honest, out of all the cars in his fleet, the Notch, yes, the Ford is the car that probably has the best shot of running ridiculous numbers. And if they get their hands on a Coyote motor with a competent builder and crew that doesn't pinch turbo shit, doesn't pinch any lines, I think that car is going to actually do well. And people like Steve Morse is going to go, why are you putting Coyotes and stuff? Put my 572 cubic inch motor in things and have a lot of trouble making it hook down the track. But again, I say that in jest, but I think it's very important to point out on this show that the Coyote motor is 100% elite. And we'll maybe talk about Ford leaving the Australian Supercar Championship because they can't win. That's right. The S650 can't win a race down in Australian Steve Schleckenberg areas. They just can't mess with it. So they're like, we might leave if the rules aren't changed because an older Camaro has won all but 2 races in that whole series this year. We'll talk about it, but not before Mr. Bill O'Reilly says hello to the people here.
Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
That's right. It does suck. Let's get after it. All right. So, 2 Auto Solutions, Rami's around to Auto Solution, on not all the Puerto Ricans down there, they're going to trade in their Starlet rotaries for Coyotes. Oh my God. Here we go. This Michael Riddle guy. I'm going to get rid of Michael Riddle because I'm just annoyed by him. Get out of here. That's right. Racemotive.com. Racemotive. They just had a race this weekend and it seemed like it went really well. Billy badass stuff. Check them out. They did some road racing in Pocono and it was a good time. D&H Performance, D&HPerformance.com. D&H Performance, they paid their bill. They'll punch you in the face. They'll get you parts. Any parts you need, that's where you get them. D&HPerformance.com. Partsfrom.com. I still haven't heard back about the 350 guys, so give me a break. I haven't heard shit. Conk Performance, ConkPerformance.com. Conk Performance on Instagram. Trying to get that carbon lid made for the Ram Air situation. I'll get you 60 to 130 once the weather cools down. It's still way in the 80s here. Ultimate Header, UltimateHeader.com, Ultimate Header on Instagram, PMAS, Nick James and PMAS, and Calimer Transmission, CalimerTransmission.com. Look, I'm trying to make everything work. With this 350 works out, I might be messing with 31 built 3160s from him, so we'll just go from there. Douche Dated, Travis, 2000 MCR, Joe Swish, Monty 540, and The Wolf said hello. Darren Harper, Mock E, Mock, Redbird, JD Swag, TJ Sikorsky, Moflo, Ken McAllister, Mendoza's Coyote, Twin Force Fusion, Dustin Garrison, Killshot Racing, Joe Mendoza, D-Rock Fox, Theo Baltas, Pito Chiquito, 94, GT Vert, Kevin Biasco. I don't know what that says. Rick Dixon, Oscar Hernandez, TRD Ricky Smokin', Robo Style, Agent Orange Rican, South Detroit Entertainment, Mike Jones. Damn, it's been forever since I've been able to catch a live stream to hear Poppy Alex drop that knowledge. Not really, according to me. According to everyone, I don't know shit. Now everyone is clamoring for this Coyote motor. Izzy R, One of One RTR, Nate Dogg, Joey G, Oliver Bryan, Johnny Trans, 50 Stallion, Christian Duran, South Detroit again, Christian Duran again, and Johnny Trans again. Twin Force Fusion, Alistair of Hades, Jay Bush, Bondover says, hello. Amazing how much love and respect came towards the Coyote along with the hate. Been an entertaining couple of days, right? Remember, Bondover? We've been here touting spewing the Coyote love, shoving the gospel of the Coyote engine down everyone's throats. And all of a sudden, now everyone gives a shit about the Coyote. Interesting times it be. Matt Benoit, Raymond Sustaita, Gregory Uppich again, Elva Galarga, One of One RTR, Gregory Uppich again, Nestor, 810, Jared Wells, Just a Memoir, Second Shift, Jacob, Capcom, South Detroit, Abdullah, 2J Fox Body, Alistair, DNA High Performance, what's up, DNA High Performance, Mercury Motorsports, Johnny Boy, Kellen Stocks, Anthony, Nitrous and Bias Supplies. Like, I love when people come in here and start talking billet Hemis that are in Top Fuel. We're talking streetcar shit. I don't have time for motherfuckers that shove $18,000 worth of suspension on cars, try to talk shit on this fucking channel. Fuck all that. Silently watching Alex not in a house yet with 8% interest invalidates all he says but no house. Get that 350, although I agree. So, FL2k went down, and this is what happened in the Coyote sphere. 2 Lund-tuned stock ECU cars that only read spark and fuel. I just found out that the only thing you can monitor on a Coyote motor, stock ECU, is spark and fuel. I'm like, oh shit, how the hell have we been doing it? How the hell has Lund Racing almost been 6s in a 6R80 with a stock ECU only monitoring spark and fuel? I was blown away by that bullshit. So, Chambly beat the Oreo notchback from Cletus's camp. Index Racing, but a win is a win is a win. And I think a stick shift car that's Lund-tuned won its stick shift class. But the big one is Brett Lasala's car, the green S197 that used to be owned by Joel Steele. Now, again, this car was running 680s with a Gen 1 Coyote built by TKM stick shift 3 years ago. Okay, so 3 years ago, this car was running 6.8 at over 200 miles an hour, and it was the quickest Ford H-pattern stick-shift car, period. So, homeboy bought it, did his thing, and he took it to the next level. So, the motor is built by Joe Irwin at FFRE, the same people that build the Fat House Performance GT350s and GT500s. So, the guy has a ton of data based on those vehicles alone. Hell, if you see what Fat House has been able to do, they've been able to take that platform to the next level, and not a lot of people are really in their league when it comes to the GT350 stuff. So apparently Joe, worked his magic and was able to devise a pretty damn good motor, wet deck, and that's the even more impressive thing of the whole situation. This thing has a radiator. You understand? A lot of the really, really fast cars run M1 and no coolant. So the fuel keeps the car cool. So you don't have to worry about blowing a head gasket, for instance, if you have a dry deck. A dry deck means no water is flowing between the head gasket and the head and the block. So this is a wet deck motor, meaning he can do a drag and drive around, and water flows through that situation. So the fact that he's able to devise a way of making a less than 305 cubic inch. I understand you guys go, the Coyote motor's big because of the dual overhead cams. But you got to understand, the block is 302 cubic inches. It's supposedly, and again, I don't know the inner workings because I don't really know the people. I met Joe once, seemed like a nice guy, went to Lund Racing. I've probably shaken Brett Lasala's hand once in my whole fucking life. We ain't boys, we ain't tight. So from what I know is from what I hear from other people. The car ran 6.4. With a Boss crank, stock as cast 5.2 liter Predator block, which is a Coyote variant, and the sleeves were oversized, making it a 302. So it's not a 5.2, it's still a 5 liter, but the block, because it's a Predator block, 2020 GT500 block, it's a Coyote variant. So it had a Boss crank, stock block, Predator, and GT350 heads, and I'm sure some cams and other stuff that I don't know about. And it went 6.4. So according to his story, and on that run, they lost oil pressure, and they went ahead and swapped in a new short block, which I'm sure was the same, except the crank didn't flex as much. So it's either a Winberg crank or something pretty badass. So the 630 pass, you can still say stock block, stock head casting, but you can't really say stock crank. So it still went 6.4 with a Boss crank, which blows my mind. The fact that it went 6.4 with a Boss crank from a Gen 1 Mustang, GT350 heads, and a 5.2 Predator block sleeved down to 5.0 is absolutely mind-blowing, okay? Now, he's racing cars that have Noonan billets, SMXs, and winning. So the race that he won against Garrett, he ran a 633. Garrett lost traction, and of course, that's going to be the biggest issue with his car, that it has a small tire. If you're stuck with a 28-inch tire, now you got to manage that power, and that SMX makes more power than you need. So you got to be able to go A to B with that car. That's going to be the challenge. Hopefully they get it tested and figured out. But what blew me away the most was the fact that he posted that they're looking for a Coyote motor for this. That's right. The notchback that had a Godzilla. You know, you fox body nut hugging weirdos that love pushrod engines, and said that the Godzilla would trump and kill and destroy any Coyote. Well, guess what? After 7,000 head gasket changes, I think they were done with that shit. According to him, he found an engine. Says, anyone have a gnarly Coyote engine for sale? We're going to swap McFlurry before World Cup, looking for something O-ring heads preferably. And he edited, I found one. And he said here, just so you guys know, I've already talked to shops like FFRE and TKM, seeing if anyone else may be selling one that's ready to go. Now that is going to be hilarious, because now he's going to experience the Coyote engine builder merry-go-round. As a Lund Racing employee, nobody outside of Lund Racing has seen different engine combos as much as the crew has. Junior, senior's a Coyote expert at this point. He's put so much shit together. Brandon, Devin, Nardi, and Dakota, nobody collectively has seen more data on built motors than Lund Racing. Through Manuel, through Brian Luna, through all these people. So we know what works and what doesn't work, or who is legit and who isn't legit. Now, one thing we can't go out there and say is, don't get it from them. They fucking suck. But if you pay really close attention to social media, you'll start noticing that people start blaming the tuner for everything. Meanwhile, bone stock motors built by a UAW $80 an hour motherfucker with an exoskeleton somehow runs a 790. And when you buy a built motor, run the same boost, the bitch eats itself. So now Cletus is going to have to find out who is going to be able to support my program with a Coyote motor. Now, he has the tuner Pete that is legit. I'm never going to say anything. The guy seems to be on top of everything. So I don't know him, but from what I can tell, the guy's really knowledgeable just by actually doing shit. So every time he talks, I listen. But if you're not an expert in Coyote stuff, get ready to have this learning curve from hell, because it is not as easy as just dumping a Coyote in it, hitting the plus button, putting M1 in it, and then saying, hey, let's tune it with Holly and let's see what it does. There's going to be growing pains depending on who built that motor. Do you understand? Depending on who built that motor, you might have a lot of growing pains. Now, Joe at FFRE, I'm sure, has the luxury of saying no. Now, look at it from an outside perspective. That camp is destructive. Let's be honest. That camp is known blowing shit up all the time. Are they fast and successful? Yes. Do they blow shit up all the time? Absolutely. So whoever gave them the Godzilla is probably not super thrilled that it's being removed for a 158 cubic inch smaller, older setup that has been proven to be an elite motor. I don't know why they didn't go Coyote initially. It's lighter. It has better packaging. It needs less work to make it fit in a Fox. Coyote powered Fox bodies straight get it. My Fairmont 1A50s with, I think, 15 pounds of boost and a 4R200 6R80 equipped at 3,500 pounds. So if this notchback that weighs 28, let's say they can get it down to 28 to 3,000 pounds, 2,800 to 3,000 pounds, and they can get 35 pounds of boost and a turbo 400, that's a 6-second car. No bones about it. If the suspension is set up properly, they got a badass rear end, they got a chassis guy, they got 2 weeks to get it done. That car is gonna be a 6-second car with a turbo 400 M1, 35 pounds of boost, as long as everything is super happy. Why didn't they do that from the beginning? I don't know. So the question is, do you want to be affiliated with that camp, knowing their history? You saw what Texas Speed went through with the fans, the psycho cringe fans that he has, the Cletards that are out there. If the Texas Speed engine blows up, not because of Texas Speed, but because of tuning, a bad sensor, a bolt down the fucking thing, or a pinched line that gave it 80 pounds of boost, well, eventually as an engine builder, you got to go, I don't know if that's the risk reward is high. You know what I mean? Like, what am I going to get out of it? None of the Cletards have money. They don't. So all you can get is either a ton of praise or a ton of negativity. There is no in between. So that's why I think people that race and stay under the radar and really hone in on that setup, like the Brett Lasalas of the world, like the Chambleys, like the Murillos, like, I don't want to forget his name. There's a whole camp over there that seems to have figured out. Matt Brunette up in Canada, Billet Pro Shops running 410 with a stock block Coyote in the 8th. Can't forget him. So there are people that have this thing super dialed in. So if you're Joe or an engine builder, is the risk reward worth it dealing with them? Again, no indictment on them. I'm simply going by history. I'm a reporter, and I'm seeing that history tells me that thing has popped head gaskets all the time. Bunch of your LSs blew up, but your El Camino has been ridiculously fast when it's running great. Pete has it figured out, so can't say anything about that. So if you're a Coyote engine builder, and I know all of them, you're going to have to say, is this worth it? So we'll see. I'm actually now going to start seeing what's happening with that car. I don't care about anything else they got going on. I'm a Coyote fan. I told you guys I quit Ford. I'm done with Ford. But I'm a Coyote fan. So now if one of the more popular YouTubers that has a ton of resources, ton of money, ton of following, if he can't get this Coyote in the 6s. Now, people are just going to say, well, London hasn't gotten into the 6s. Well, listen up, stupid motherfuckers. We're not playing in the same sandbox. Do you understand? We have a stock computer that only reads spark and fuel. We have a 3-link suspension. We have a heavier car. And we have a 6R80 transmission. That is our wheelhouse. And the moment the 6R80 goes 6.99 or it campaigns a race or two in the 6s, that's going to get ripped out. My old transmission from the GT500, the Reed Case Turbo 400 with all billet internals, is going to go in it. And then we'll see how much shit motherfuckers talk. Again, we have to get there. There's a growing pain. But we're not playing in the same sandbox. We're not playing in the standalone Turbo 400 sandbox. We're playing in the stock computer. Stock computer. It has a UPRK member, guys. Okay, so we're not playing in the same sandbox. And 6R80 world. We are already a 7.0 car. So once we go 6s, there is nothing to prove. And if someone gets close, we can just reconfigure it, put a 6R80 back in it, and bust off a better number if somebody decides to go after our record. So if this camp can't get it to go sixes with a Billy Badass Coyote, 35 pounds of boost, M1, Holly or whoever the hell is sponsoring that thing, I want to see what the backlash is from the people. Oh, you should have stuck the Godzilla in it. I can hear it now. Oh, you should have kept the Godzilla in it. It's bigger. It's pushrod. It's better than the Coyote. And the Coyote just went 633 at 224 in a 3,000-pound car. Again, he has a team behind it. Joe at FFRE built that thing. I trust him with some of the most Billy Badass Coyotes on the planet based on his background with not only Fat House. The guy built big blocks and shit back in the day. He was a drag radio racer. He has a background. So once you get to know the dude and you know his background, you know that people that get their Coyote built by him are in really good hands. And again, this is not an indictment on other engine builders. I'm just saying, right now, he's top dog. So real quick, I'll mention this stupid Ford thing and then we'll get your comments. Ford is quitting or contemplating quitting the Australian Supercar Championship because they suck. Ford one step closer to exiting the V8 Supercar after parity row on Eve of Bathurst 1000. The battle between the Ford Mustang and the Chevrolet Camaro V8 Supercars was supposed to be closer for this weekend's Bathurst 1000 motor race. However, category organizers have disallowed changes that would have made for tighter racing. Ford fans across Australia have been dealt a major blow as the company's involvement in V8 Supercars is now under serious threat after the category organizers disallowed technical changes that would have brought the top teams closer together this weekend's Bathurst 1000. A Chevy Camaro currently leads the V8 Supercar Championship and has been declared the winner in all but 23 races, all but 2 of the 23 races this year, because it's widely accepted that the Ford Mustang has been disadvantaged despite technical rules that are designed to ensue close competition. Ford Australia has been lobbying all year for the rule change that would help bring the Mustang up to speed and close the gap to the R-Travel Camaro, which has a bigger 5.7-liter V8 compared to the 5.4 in the Ford. 5.4? So anyway, it's called aero. They have an aero advantage. That's right. The Billy Badass, super highly designed during COVID, not stupid at all, 2 throttle bodies, super highly, the last one left is getting beat by an older platform, a Camaro. So, Ford, do me a favor. Don't threaten people that you're going to leave. Just fucking leave. Just leave. You ain't got it. You ain't got it. You understand? The Mustang isn't it. The S650 is not it. I don't care what anyone tells you. I don't care what any parts house tells you. I don't care what any tint company tells you. I don't care what wheels are on it. I don't care what drop kit is on it. I don't care what wing is on it. I don't care what color it is. And I don't care how many tablets is in the bitch. When it comes to performance, the S650 is not it. And even Ford is throwing in the towel because they can't hang in a league that they specifically built a car for, and now they're begging for rule changes. Clown shit, Ford. Clown shit. All right, we'll talk about, what do you think about Cletus going Coyote? He did have a Coyote at first, and guess where that Coyote ended up? In my car. Cletus had a Coyote from Power by the Hour back in the day, but guess what he wanted to do with that Coyote? Dumb shit. Burnouts. Stupidity. Idiocy. Retardation. And Jake said, that motor's not going to last with retardation activities. So he got himself a 5.4 from L&M, and that motor lasted a long time. Jake bought the motor back. Jake said, Alex, this motor ticks, but it's badass. And it ended up in the red car running 11.2 at 120 at a 3,700-pound race weight with E85 and 373s. And I sold it, and some guy put his dead dad in the trunk and sold it, and it's somewhere in Maryland, or who the fuck knows what's happening. So we'll talk about it. 6.2 LT1 motor. Trust me, they're going to use it for circular spectator races. Car needs more RTR parts to go faster. Nuthuggers has always been agreeing that 430 crank horsepower is better than 460 crank horsepower. Ridiculous. Oof. The GTD is GT dead. Oh no, we suck again. This is Ford when they get beat by by a platform that is old. Where is it? Where is it? We suck. Oh, come on. I'll find it. I'm going to take my time. Oh, my God. Intaker, F yourself. Price, Streeta. Oh, my God. I can't find. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, no. We suck again.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Why am I hating on Ford? They went woke. They went woke. And ever since that woke virtue signaling bullshit, they've been caught with their hand in the cookie jar with helping China. They're not selling Lightnings anymore. They can't give away these cars. If you go to a car dealership guy, Ford has now retrained staff to give talking points as to why you need to buy an electric vehicle. And the farmers in the Midwest say, fuck you, buddy. Let me get that F-150 King Ranch, motherfucker. They put one on the Crown Vic. Yeah, exactly. But I can rev it with my key fob. Mustang needs to leave competition, hit the gym, and remember where it came from. Mustang needs its girlfriend to dump him. Because every guy at the gym that's super jacked got dumped, and they come out a better version of themselves. So, Ford needs to dump Jim Farley. It has to be a symbolic gesture. It's not, maybe he's not the direct cause. Maybe he's not the one with the exoskeleton suit and his wig on the assembly line putting on these, misaligned panels. I get it. But it is a symbol. You fire the coach if the team is doing bad. And that's how it is. Look at Bill Belichick. Once Tom Brady left, that motherfucker was exposed. Oh, Tom Brady left? And you've had straight losing seasons? Oh shit. You weren't the cause of all the championships. Tom Brady was. Because when he left, son of a bitch won a championship in Florida. Unbelievable. I'm late, but I'll never understand the concept of throwing a 1,000 horsepower motor in a vehicle just to do burnouts. My 150 horse Toyota 4Runner will do hellacious burnouts. Jake Tucker says Banks is gay for free JLT intakes. I love it. People name themselves inside baseball stuff. Did you see the video of S650 having this vehicle is trackable by? Yes, I don't care. F-150 hybrid has the lowest reliability rating of all cars. Literally worse than the Jeep. Saw Lightning yesterday, and the guy looked like he wanted to drop dead on the spot. The 6th gen Camaro SS with the manual gearbox is outstanding. And that's what I keep hearing. That's what I keep hearing. And look, I don't like how they look. I'm sorry. I look at them and I go, it's a no-go. But I like to drive one just to see what the hubbub is about. Because my Corvette has no lineage with the new Camaro. But the torque, the gearbox, and just how that car feels, it's an 09. And it's far superior than any Mustang I've owned, S550 and up. And I own an S197 a GT500, which drives like a tractor. But it's built for drag racing, so it has an anti-roll bar. It sucks to drive around. It really, really sucks. The anti-roll bar, the spool, it is death. But the Corvette is literally my best driving car right now. Mustang needs to find his girlfriend sleeping with the Camaro and Charger. I mean, Tom was out there playing it. LOL, always Tom. Very true. Was just at the Ford dealership. Something, and the salesman said that they can't give Mach-E's away and no Lightning in sight. This is facts. Do you think the Grey Goose could go faster than a 6.4 with a turbo 400? No. This is, okay, relax. Brett's car is outstanding. The motor in it is outstanding. The same people built our motor. So a lot of people that hate Lund are going to say the following line without actually knowing what's happening. Well, those cars look the same. Why is Brett's car much faster? They look the same, but they don't sit the same. Okay? If you look at Joel Steele's old videos, go on 1320 Racing, 1320 Video, and just look up the World Cup stuff with Joel Steele's car. Okay? That thing is ridiculous. It's very, very well sorted. That car does not sit the same as the Lund car. Okay, the Lund car has a UPRK member. It has a 3-link modified, sure, 3-link with a wishbone situation, badass. But it is not set up like Brett's car. It's totally different. So, if the car, say, busts off a 6.9 with a 6R80, I think we should just stop and put it in the trailer. Because I don't want to blow it up on the track, that car is going to take 40 pounds of boost to it, and we're going to be like, I don't know what that's, because there's no such thing as Billy Badass billet parts for the 6R80. We're literally dealing with a couple of billet parts, but 75% OEM, UAW, stamped, cast, Ford stuff. So let's say the car runs a 6.9. I think with a turbo 400 and a favorable gear ratio so that your final drive and your final gear ratio is desirable for launching, and you can pour on the power with a longer first. Because right now we're still dealing with a 270 or so first. I think you could cut 2/10 off the bitch, right? So if you go 690 sorted with a 6R80, I think you can go 670 sorted, meaning after converter changes and you get everything sorted with the same power. But the other thing is, you can pour on the power earlier and you don't have to deal with converter issues. Right now, everything is controlled by the computer. Aside from spark and fuel, we also monitor cam position, EGTs, that's right. Oh, how'd you do that? You can do it. Desired slip, actual slip, gear commanded, temperature, radiator pressure. You can inlet air temp, pre and post, fuel temp. You can log a bunch of stuff, not just spark and fuel. So everything is controlled by the computer. So Junior is literally going, this is the 1-2, this is the 2-3, lock up or not lock up, depending, because we're still dealing with off the shelf. Listen, we are dealing with off the shelf torque converters. There is no billet 2-piece converter in this car. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, maybe there will be, but the car went 7.0 with like a one-piece style Circle D, like 252. Like nothing exotic. So we're playing in a completely different sandbox. Our sandbox has cat shit in it, and we're still playing in it, okay? Where the others are, the Turbo 400, what is the control? Let's say you have a lockup converter. You can command a lockup pretty early, and then you just say shift at this RPM. Whereas Junior has to have clutch fill time, OSS shift, a lot of different things in the architecture of the Ford software that makes it shift. There is no button that says shift 1-2 at 8200 right here and shift at 8500 here. No, there is a lot to make a 6R80 that makes behind a car that makes 2800, 2600 horsepower through a 310-inch Coyote. Listen to those words, billet guys, because you're going to start seeing Coyotes in cars you would have never thought would have had a Coyote. Don't get me wrong. LS is badass. Does great. Built. Aftermarket blocks. It is very well supported. But how much does it cost to build a Billy Badass LS motor? I'm saying 3,000 horse capable. The motor, just the motor. The block, the head, the O-ring, the firing, you name it. 28,000, 30,000, 40,000. And some of you go just right to billet. Let's go to Noonan and go, give me a billet LS. Fuck all this. So you're in it for $35,000 to $50,000, depending on options. Where you take a stock 5.2 Predator, sleeve it, have FFRE do the saucy shit, sleeve it down, stock Boss crank. You can live in the 7.0 range. That's been proven pretty good. Or you get some 350 heads, some custom cams, and you can control it with Holly. You can control it with Fuel Tech. You can control it with anything. It's a V8. So if you're used to the software, it doesn't matter what engine is in it, right? Except for some nuances in the tuning. So you're going to see a lot of people all of a sudden start going Coyote. You'll see it. Can't wait to see the Grey Goose running Mod Nats. I don't think it's going to run at Mod Nats. Matt Jr. last weekend, you guys are legit. I'm turbo my 5.0 S197 MT82. Should I start looking for a new trans? Should I look at anything else to help support boosting? Gen 1, you're going to need help because that motor at 750 or so horsepower, the rods are going to exit stage left and you're going to have to buy curtains. So I would look into a Gen 2 bottom end or a Gen 3 bottom end, 3-2-1 setup, and I think you'll be better off. Someone had Coyote swapped a BMW 850i. The motor is a perfect fit for a car like that. So a lot of the people that thought, bitch, you thought Coyote, you thought Godzilla was going to be the next big swap motor. And then one of the more popular YouTubers says, I quit this motor. I saw what Brett did and I'm a believer. So fuck it. Let's just go Coyote in it. Everyone that was on the bandwagon of Godzilla has had the wind taken out of their sails. Fuck, one of the more popular YouTubers that got all the support, all the sauce, all the good stuff, said, we are done, we're going Coyote. Everyone else was like, fuck you mean? You know what the fuck he means? He wants to go fast. So get a Coyote in it. Alex, what's the most power you can know me made of on a stock Ford ECU? Probably the Grey Goose, right? The Grey Goose. Doesn't it make like 2,000 something horsepower, 40 PSI based on the math? I don't know of any other stock ECU. Okay, sorry. Ford ECU? I don't know of any Ford ECU that makes the kind of power that the Grey Goose makes. I got about 15,000 in my LS402 with a billet 80 millimeter. Okay, that's pretty good. I think a badass motor built by like an FFRE type, there is no real type, but I want to say you're 25 grand, right? I'm saying top of the top stuff, but I think you can build a mid 7-second motor for like 15. It's sleeves, rods, pistons, O-ring, 32 pounds of boost, 2,800 pound car, turbo 400. It's like cookie cutter. My bad, Buick Roadmaster motor. I want a Coyote swap something. I don't know what I want yet, but I want to swap something. Look, the Fairmont is probably going to stay Coyote because Jake might get rid of his Gen 3 that's in Danielle's car. He wants potentially a Predator situation in there or a GT350 situation in there. So I'm like, I'll buy that one. It's already got locked cams. Stick a carburetor in it. Put a blower on it. And just do dumb shit with that. Just monitor air, fuel, and spark, and I'll be good to go. Godzilla is not that guy. Godzilla.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
I know you thought you were gonna come in. You tickled everyone's asshole at PRI. 7.3 liters.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Could you imagine what we can get out of it when we stroke it? It's gonna be 8 liters. It's gonna red to
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Not yet. Maybe in 10 years. But right now, Coyote has the ability to push anything. 3,000 pounds in the 6'4", 6'3" range in the quarter mile. Yeah, that's a motor to look at because it's everywhere. Joel Steele's car. Okay, Joel Steele's car was running 6'8" with a T56. So imagine if Joel Steele turned totally gay and said, let me stick an auto in it because I want to go faster. You don't think that car would have gone 60s? With a Gen 1 motor? Gen 1 block, dry deck, I get it. TKM built it. That car was going rounds, bro. That car was stick shift going 6'9", 6'8", 6'9", 6'8", 6'9", 6'8". So you don't think if you stuck a 400 in it, that motherfucker wouldn't have been a 6'7", 6'6" all day? Stop it. Stop it. Is the Yodi the new LS swap? LS truck motor nut swingers are trying to figure out how their U-Haul motor is going to run 6s. Yes. So you're starting to see the people that have no idea what the motor is stick it in something and be underwhelmed. I've had many guys in the ticket system say, well, this is a Gen 1 F-150 motor. It's a Coyote. It should make blah. No. The intake cams are junk. The intake cams are junk in the F-150. It's lower compression. It's got a weak bottom end. Out of all the motors you're going to decide to swap, the Gen 1 F-150 is not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Now, you throw rods, pistons, a boss crank, Gen 2 heads, and, put 28 pounds of boost in it. It's that guy.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not
But
that
people
guy.
are going, oh, look, I love an F-150. I could just stuff the motor in my car and go 740s like Brett. No, you can't. I mean, if you're going to dump the money on a Godzilla, might as well throw a 400 shot at the motherfucker. It's all it's good for. Okay, he's talking tires. Did you hit the like button or not? Johnny Trans says, Godzilla may become relevant when they have oil pans that fit cars. Intakes aren't $3,000 and affordable ECUs. Exactly. Somebody told me, oh, Alex, you're stupid. Mars is selling a custom harness that you could put a 10 or 80 behind a 7.3 liter. Okay, what control system? Is it OBR? Is it a Ford Racing control pack? Is it something you can just shove the tune in it and it'll just work fine? No, it's always some custom bullshit. Remember the Coyote swap stuff that they had back in the day? It looked like an old Alpine amplifier in the back. They basically sold you, who the fuck made that kit? Does anyone know what I'm talking about so I can show you a picture of that shit? Somebody was selling a Coyote swap control system that looked like a Rockford Fosgate 1999 1,000-watt amplifier and a bunch of wires that said make it work. So that's what I'm getting? You want me to put a 10R80 behind a Godzilla and get a whole bunch of fucking wires and vaya con Dios that are wired right? Or I can just get a control pack from Jake or Ford and go, boom, here's the tune is already in it. Drive it. Stop it. Blew up my Gen 1 yesterday. Shit fuel, I think. It says Michael Hedziki. Oh, no. Anyways, who should I call to get a 321 setup from what else? And did I need also what cam? Dude, stock cams. Don't get crazy with cams, okay? Please don't get crazy with cams. The cams aren't the deal breaker on this situation. Cams, in my opinion, are only necessary when you want to lessen cylinder pressure in let's say, for instance, you have a 1,000 horsepower, 1,000 torque situation, and you want to make it a 1,000 horsepower, 800, 700 torque situation. Get cams. Move the power to the right so you can soften the blow. A lot of people get too fancy with cams. I had a customer listen to this combo. And again, I'm not making fun of the customer. I'm just saying. Stock, okay. Gen 1 built motor. Rods, pistons. 10-to-1 compression. Wait for it. Comp cam stage 3s. Wait for it. Stock Gen 1 intake manifold. Stock Gen 1 cold air. I saw that combo and I go, okay, I got to have a conversation with dude. Excuse me, sir. What do you expect out of this? Like, what are your expectations? Because this big, it's going to be slow as fuck down low. And I don't want you thinking it's me. Because this build sucks. Cams, low compression, built, stock cold air, stock CAI, stock manifold. Yeah, this thing's going to feel really lazy down low due to the low compression and the cams. He's like, I know. I should have asked a bunch of people, but this is what people are doing with Coyotes. Well, when I stick a cam in an LS, it makes 80 more horsepower. So I'm going to stick a cam in a Coyote. And that's not how it works at all. Not even close. Well, no, Alex, you don't understand. I had this GTO, right? You know they called them Holdens. You know in Australia they called them Holden. Whatever. And I stuck a cam in it, and it went from 330 horsepower to 370. So that's just one cam. Imagine if I stick 4 in a Coyote. Like, so stupid, the thought process. Makes no sense. Who outlined that build? I don't know. Stevie Wonder. I don't fucking know. Gen 4 Dark Horse Short Block is under 3,000 from your local Ford dealer. My ass. Is it? Stop it. You can't get them. The UAW is on strike. Stock cam Gen 3 block straight from Ford. Kept the Gen 1 heads unless you can miraculously find Gen 2 heads, ARP head studs, Comatic, or GT500 head gaskets. Michael Diggs says the car is a Corporate Jet manifold and I want to keep it NA. That's why I'm asking about cams. Thanks for your advice. Got it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, then you need cams if you have a Corporate Jet. Alex, what do you think about swapping out the original fuel rails on a 20 GT PP1 for the VMP billet plug and play kit to use with simple? Yeah, okay. Nito, do me a favor. If you're gonna buy a fuel system, you buy a fucking Ford Innovations fuel system. Unless you're saying just the billet plug and play rail. Like, what are you looking to get out of rails? I made 795 rear wheel horsepower with Sunoco 260 GT, stock fuel rails, and a boosted pump with an ESS on my 19. You don't need aftermarket rails. Now that's a Mustang 6G build. You a boost? Oh, you're going to go boost with a Coyote? Dude, you definitely want to go low compression. No, you don't. No, you don't. Or get a wrecked Boss engine from the part farm? Yes. Okay. The thing is, you can get good money for those motors. So the parts farm does a really smart thing. They buy a Boss, and if it's like pancaked and the engine's good, they'll buy it. And they'll say this motor gets good money. Why? It is the absolute best Gen 1 motor, period. Actually, I would make the case that the Boss 302 is the best of all the Coyote variants. Now, people would say, it's not a Coyote, it's a Road Runner. Look, asshole. I had a guy on Instagram. What a clown-ass fucking clown. He's like, Alex, that's not a stock block in Brett's car. That's not a stock Coyote in Brett's car. I was like, who said it's a stock Coyote? I said it's a stock Coyote block. No, Predator. Predator block. What's a Predator? It's not a Coyote. Oh, okay. Dickhead. Can I put a Coyote crank in it? Yup. Can I put GT350 heads, Gen 1 heads, Gen 2 heads, and Gen 3 heads on it? Yup. Tell me again why it's not a Coyote variant. I've heard old school engine builders think that they can build Coyotes like old school pushrod engines. Exactly. See, old school guys are stuck with that old school mindset. Lower compression for boost. But the caveat is the fuel. Pump gas. Like, I had a guy tell me one time with a straight face, like he wasn't kidding. He looked at me dead ass in the face and said, Alex, what if I build a pro-charged 901 compression Coyote so I can make 700 horsepower on pump gas with 21 pounds of boost? And I looked at him and I'm like, you're serious? He goes, yeah, 21 pounds of boost, pump gas, safe. I'm like, your IATs are going to be 180, dude. What? Yeah, your IATs, air still has to get into the motor to make power. And more air you compress, the hotter it gets. Didn't even understand what I was saying. The Boss is a decent buy too. Plenty of them for under $30,000 in good shape. Yes, there's one in Canada right now, I'm eyeing. I got to see what Rob does with his 350, bro. He's got to hook me up. I went 9.3, 150, stock Gen 2 with stock fuel pump, rail, BAP, and Q16. I think the Boss is the best engine. Me too. I think so. Wasn't the Gen 2 Coyote based off of the Boss motor? No, because the Boss motor had a better crank and better heads. And I think the valves were bigger on the Gen 2. I'm not 100% though. Alex is bucking at part throttle at TVS tuning related. Oh, I don't know. Look, you know how many times you tell me the car's bucking and then I look at the data log and it looks like your foot's doing this? I'd have to see a log. Can you use a Voodoo crank in a Coyote block? I never thought about it. Wonder if it's possible. That I don't know. Because then what are you doing? For firing order, for pistons, for rods? But Alex, it's called Predator, not a Coyote. Right. It's a Predator. It's totally different. It had a Boss crank. So how can... 4.8. 4.8, 5.3, 6.0, 6.2. They're all LSs. So when I say Coyote, I'm talking about the family. I'm not talking about Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, Predator, Gen 4, because Gen 4 is Coyote. I blame the 2020 GT500 and the Terminator for these low compression builds. Old heads be like, it's got 93 octane non-ethanol fuel. Alex, what if I twin turbo my GT500 on 37 pounds of boost? I think it'll be Grey Goose. So you know what's happening right now? And this is the thing. 5.4 and 5.8 GT500 guys are losing their ever-living mind. Wait. A 5-liter Coyote at 35 pounds of boost at 3,000 pounds went 6.3, and I got a 5.8 Trinity base deal. I got a 5.4 Navigator base deal or GT500 base deal. And that son of a bitch runs 410 in the 8th and a 630 at 225. Fuck am I doing with this big fucking hunk of shit in the front? Like a boat anchor. Get me that little Coyote and put that bitch in there. They're having a bit of an identity crisis because Shelby guys think they're better than GT guys. But they're missing one really important point. Your motor's not better than a Coyote. I have a GT500. I think the 5.8 is great. If you were to say, Alex, sell that motor for $20,000 and stick a Coyote in it, I'm like, I'd consider it. The only reason I don't is that's a down payment for a house or an extra lump of change because it's a Shelby. I don't care about the name. If it's about going fast, it gets a Coyote. The car's going to go 8s, I'm hoping. Stick. That's it. I'm good. I don't care. I don't care that it took 1,500 horsepower to go 8s. Get it out of my life. If I'm racing, it's getting a Coyote. Hey, Alex, will a carburetor fuel pump work on my Coyote FBO ready for 800 plus? Any broccoli haircut motherfuckers on the chat want to clue me in on why young people are rolling their tongues with some of the word of the truck? Man, we're from the South. We're from the South Coast, man. I don't know, because they're stupid. Bryson Witt. Yes, sir. I should have kept my Gen 2, but no, I was dumb. Saw the snag and thought the OEM blower and traded it in. 5.4 is the Condor. 2020 GT500 boys should be mad at a 7-second delay trans gives off the line. Shelby guys look the same. Big old gut, old, or jacked up top, no legs. They don't fuck with leg day. And they just go by the allure of the Shelby name, not the actual performance. If you wanted to go fast, you would buy an S197, put a badass Coyote in it, turbo 400, and live in the 7s and vaya con Dios. There are literally people out there right now that are like 5.4, 5.8 guys. And again, great motor, but it's not a Coyote. The Coyote is technologically advanced. And you know who's really eyeballing these fucking Coyotes and like, oh man, eso se ve bueno. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do something to it because the Honda guys. The Honda guys go, wait, that's 2 of our motors put together. And we know everything about the Honda shit. So if it's that good, we'll just bring our Honda shit to the Coyote shit and see if it lives a long life. So a lot of people, the reason I say the Coyote is going to be in everything is because literally FFRE and people like Brett and Real Street and everyone that's involved in that camp made it desirable. Nobody saw the Starlet run 650 and go, I got to get a rotary in my shit. Said nobody. But everyone was like, wait a minute, a stock cast heads, stock cast block, and a stock crank from a Boss can live in a 3,000 pound car doing that? I'm interested. Alice running high flows on a boosted setup, a bad idea in your opinion? Yeah. Look, no catalytic converter survives boost. I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna say for everyone in the back, okay? No catalytic converter, OEM or high flow or green, survives boost long term. Coyotes just have such good volumetric efficiency. Exactly. It's one of the. Think about it. Only the small block Ford outlives maybe the 96 to 90. Oh, no, okay. So how long did the 4.6 last? Small block Ford from the 60s all the way up to 93, 95 really. Then 96, 2 valves introduced. So the Coyote's been around since 2011. That's 12 years. In Mustangs, 12 years. Oh. Coyote is 2 K series put together. Thank you, because I don't know. Those Puerto Rican guys are like, let's slap one on a Starlet. Hey, man. You see fucking El Cliro? Mira. El Cliro nos dio una pela los otros días. Nos pusieron en el tráiler. ¿Qué vamos a hacer? Mira, vamos por un rotativo. Cabrón, tenemos 6 rotores. Tenemos 6 rotores, cabrón, y nos ganan. Pues mira, vamos a poner 2 motores K-Series. Básicamente un Coyote. A ver lo que hace. They're probably going to do that. Tenemos 6 rotores. Y nos están dando una pela. Poniéndonos en el trailer. The cats will not survive the test. 5'4" guy lost his mind when I gave him the gap with my stock block 3 valve pro. Stop. You're lying to me. You're just a lying son of a bitch. He said 3 valve. Coyotes have huge heads. Can't wait to see what numbers Coyote engines will be putting in a few years when everyone hops on the train. Correct. That's my thing. Coyote has been an early overachiever because nobody thought it was going to do what It did. Coyote, whatever. Oh, look, and then when it ran 8s, oh, but it's so big. And then when it ran 7s, oh, but it's so big. And then when it ran 6s, they're like, I need one. I have a Honda. I can confirm high compression 4 valves VCT system and 8,000 RPM capabilities. Hell yeah. Says Elver La Verga. So, if you're a Honda guy, you know your K series is zipping up to 8,000 RPM. You go, holy shit, VTEC. So imagine you got two of them bitches together. Still got 8,000 RPMs. Still got high compression. Still got, you can put some Holly bullshit on it. You're going to like what the deal is. So, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and totally not drug dealers are going to start building these cars and going, Mortimer, we're back. They're going to dump the Starlets. You're going to see RX2s for sale. You're going to see Starlets for sale. You're going to see Corollas for sale. Because now they're going to put this in a Fox body. You'll see Coyotes in Fox bodies everywhere. LSs are popular. I get it. But now Coyotes are like super elite. Not okay, not hanging in there. Elite. Top of the game. You literally, at a 3,000 pound car, you say SMX, Billet Noonan, Coyote. Oh, you're full of shit. I'm sorry, talk to Brett about that. Don't talk to me about that shit. I don't know, man. The bigger crowd, the dumber. You'll see way more people blowing Coyotes up and blaming the tuner when they don't run the same number. Cool. We ain't fucking with those people. Those people got laptops that have drop-down menus for injectors, self-learning, and plus and minus buttons. Have at it. You want a stock ECU? Okay. You're going to get on our program. We're the boss now. Look at us. You got a Fox body? You got a Coyote? You're Puerto Rican? We own that car now. Lund owns that car. We tell you what to put in it. We tell you what injector to put in it. We tell you the gear ratio. We tell you everything. You just go along for the fucking ride. Oh, I don't want that bullshit. Vete pa la mierda. Tune it yourself. And when you blow up 5 of them, vaya con Dios. That's right. Any can get it. Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, and Dominicans. They're going to be about this car. More people that get into Coyotes, the more aftermarket options and support. I wouldn't mind it if I get it, if it gets as popular as the LS. Coyote Fest. When it ran 6s, it was if an LS had that many cams, it would do that too. Right. Every single time the Coyote achieves something. Did you see how big it is? Did you see how small the block is? Do you know how overhead cams work? I'd like to see a chore in a capable platform. Okay. Coyote prices are going to skyrocket. Better hoard up now. Billet Noonan is on top of SMX. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I didn't mean tiers. I'm just saying elite. The top, the best of the best. I'm not saying I'm saying for racing. If you're in any league right now that requires a 3,000 pound car, a 28-inch tire, certain regulations, you need 2,000 plus horsepower to be competitive. 420s, 410, right? Like the Warriors class, like Extreme 28. You need to be making stupid power. So if you're going to enter that kind of class, you're going to go, okay, Billet Noonan, SMX, a Coyote. It's here. Hey, Alex, you said old is going to be new. People now seeing you called it. The Coyote being one into the new wave of performance. Look, all you have to do is pay attention. I don't say this out of emotion and no data. I see what's happening out there. Senior has gotten so well versed in Coyote motor stuff. Senior's an extremely smart guy, okay? He's not some guy that flew and no, the guy is legit. He is in the middle of putting this Grey Goose together, and wait till you see it, guys. I mean, It's his vision along with the help of a very good fabricator that we got a hold of. And I'm hoping that if everything goes well, that car is, once sorted, that's going to be the hard part. Once it's sorted, we only got a couple weeks, which I don't know. But once it's sorted, which is going to be a ton of testing, I think sixes will come so fucking easy on that car that it's probably going to shock Junior. He's going to go, all right, go A to B, 30 pounds of boost. Whoop, 7.0, 200. Let's ramp up the power and add 3 PSI. 6.9, 202. And we're going to be like, fuck. And that motor is a similar build that the fast Coyotes are running. They scream about, but Coyotes are big. And then they strap an M3 11 degree heads on their LS. I know, because that's what I ordered for my LS. I don't know what the hell that means. I have a 2012 GT500 with a bad engine. How hard is it to put a 12 Boss engine in it? The problem is Shrek. Is it Shrek? Like real Shrek? Oscar Morin Shrek? You can put it in it, but the problem is you got to control it with something. And the GFD3 or FGDX2S6 operating system, not going to like the Coyote. You got to basically put a Gen 1 Coyote harness and Gen 1 Coyote computer in it. Alex took apart a 2011 Coyote after warranty and it was denied for a tune. I was thoroughly impressed, especially with the heads, the size of the intake ports. Oh, and they don't come with piston oil squirters. James Williams, would it surprise you that the cams and the followers on these cars are stock? Meaning, these 2,000 horsepower cars, some cams are stock and the followers, the lifters basically, are stock. P2111 and P115E sounds like a throttle body issue. I lose throttle and it goes into limp mode. O'Reilly's throttle body. You bought an Oregon throttle body, bro? Okay, let me try to finish this. With 5.4 volts, 0.58. Okay, glass roof Coyote. If it's for a Gen 1 car, make sure the throttle body is for a Gen 1. It sounds like you have a throttle body that's not compatible with your operating system. Motherfucker bought O'Reilly's throttle body. Finally, alive. Alex says, hola, tío. No chill, Dave. The only reason people got into Coyotes is because of Nate Ryder and that dude in blue. That's very good. Meanwhile, there's a guy on YouTube saying that the North Star inspired the Coyote. Yeah, that guy's a little psycho. I love him, but he's like, this is the original Coyote. I'm going to build it. And he spent an hour talking about a North Star V8. Chevy Boy's going to start digging trash North Star V8s up out of the graveyard now. Was Nostradamus bald too? Frankenstein heads. Gotcha. Alex, are you going to go to World Cup? If the Grey Goose is ready, tested, we go. I got a ticket, but there's no testing happening in 2 weeks. I don't think it's a good idea for anybody to go up there untested. But Alex, my car was built. Stop it. My bad. M311 Frankenstein heads for the LS motors. Wait until they start building the 5506 motor. Alex, yes, I can believe it. Being converted back to Ford. Look, James Williams, I'm going to be honest with you, brother. The tuning on Gen 1 is difficult. Don't get me wrong. But once you get into it, James Williams, and see the potential, especially with boost. James, if you get a Gen 1 motor and you put 10 PSI to it, 50-pound injectors, that bitch makes 650 to the wheel, bro, on pump gas with 17 degrees of timing. And then, let's say you put MS-109, same 55-pound injectors, and you up the boost to 15 or 14. If the fuel pump has enough fuel in it, or supply, and the engine lives a long life, 780, 790, 800, no internal modifications, nothing. You get a Gen 2, sky is the limit, as long as you have octane. Bro, just commute if you buy O'Reilly's throttle body. Edwin Martinez, what's up, brother? Edwin, I told everybody that Coyote is La Luz, and everyone in elite motorsports is going to be looking at Coyotes based off of Joel Steele's accomplishments, Joe Irwin's build, and Brett Lasala's performance. It is impossible to look at those three situations and deny the potential of the Coyote. And even Garrett Mitchell himself is literally dumping the Godzilla and saying, we're sticking a Coyote in it. It's lighter. It makes more power. And if the tuning is on point, it's pretty durable. Let's be honest. When you're an elite racer, 7069, you got to bring in extra everything. Extra trans, extra motor, extra rear. So buy 2 Coyotes, Garrett. Buy 2. You're at that level. Following his logic, the Toyota UZ engine was the original Coyote. Exactly. I have the VMP shit. Currently slapping some long tubes on my 14 GT. Injectors and Lund tune coming soon. Alex, the Trash Star was a great concept, but poorly executed. According to that guy, the North Star V8 in the last 2 years of production was great. And he was taking it apart, and I'm like, bro, it's not even close. Look, at the end of the day, even a Toyota 32-valve V8 mimics all overhead cam V8 Coyotes. Okay, so I'd rather have a Toyota V8 and build off of that than a North Star. The 5506 motor, ain't nobody has money to modify that. Yeah, 800 on Gen 1 turbo. Omar X. Edwin Martinez was making over 900 horsepower on a Gen 1 turbo. But I have billet oil pump gears. I'm too young to know who ruled what era, 90s, 2020. Was Mopar ever up top? No. Mopar was the laughing stock of all racing until the Hellcat. It was I'm sorry. The Shelby Daytona was badass in 1988. North Star's the first Coyote. Pretty sure the Coyote was the latest evolution of the modular engines. The 4.6 32-valve Lincoln Mark 8 engine was what planted the seed for the Coyote. Facts. Correct. With the badass block that everyone, the Texid block. Every Cobra guy right now heard Texid and goes, what? Like my dog when I say, do you want to go outside? He, what? Texid? Alex knows Texid? Oh my God. So if you wanted a good block, you would get yourself a Mark 8, 32-valve, dual overhead cam, and the block was pretty robust. Ship it out, get some parts, get in it, and make turbo. And you could literally put rods and pistons in a Texid with B heads, worked over B heads, I think. You can make 1,000. Here you go, turbo. Here's 1,000 horsepower, no problem. Imagine the Coyote had the starter where the North Star did. I never knew anything about the North Star. The O'Reilly Straw Body was a freebie from the manager. That's why it was free. So if I were you, Glass Roof Coyote, I would make sure it fits the generation of the car. Gen 1 throttle body does not work on Gen 2. Gen 2 throttle body does not work on Gen 1. Gen 3 doesn't work on Gen 2. Gen 3 doesn't work on Gen 1. Gen 1 doesn't work on Gen 3. Gen 2 doesn't work on Gen 3. They have to match the generation vehicle. It's going to be a little boring when the Chevy guys go Coyote, but we'll see some crazy builds. Look, I want every racer to experience the potential. Look, I get it. You're an LS guy. You fuck your cousin. You married your sister. I get it. You drink Mountain Dew first thing in the morning. I get it. You're retarded. But you're missing out on one of probably the better Ford engines ever made. Ever. The design, the infrastructure, the size of the cylinder heads, the revving capabilities, the ability to just make power stock with just maybe oil pump gears and E85 and boost, and boom, all of a sudden you have 1,000 horsepower. So why would you deny yourself that and start saying stupid shit like, I could just stick a cam in it and Frankenstein heads and I'll make 1,000? Well, how about if you don't have to do any of that? Why would you deny yourself that? Look, Motion Raceworks, I think, got their hands on a Coyote, and they've seen the light, right? Garrett saw the light. PBH saw the light before everybody else and made control pack and swap systems back in 2015. They were already doing swap shit early on. Why? They saw that a stock Coyote made 400 wheel, then added 9 or 10 pounds of boost, and they made 650. And Jake was like, Alex, my 96 Cobra 4-valve, for me to make 650 horsepower, the boost would have to be in the 20s, and everything would have to be built. This stock Coyote just busted 650 on pump gas with 10 PSI. Fuck, I'm in. Immediately started tearing engines apart, started doing stuff. He's like, I got to get these engines in other cars. He did one of the first Cobra Jet swapped notch swaps ever. And the car was like a 1060 car. Stick shift. Jake's like, that car is a 1060 car with a stock Coyote and a Cobra Jet in it. Cobra Jet intake. I'm like, damn. So, He was on top of it before anyone else. I'll buy one to see what the deal is. But will Ford Performance GT500 with the VMP harness be all right? I don't know what he's talking about. What? Ford Performance GT500 with the VMP harness be all right? Do you have a TVS? I'm confused. Alex, just described my 97 Cobra build. Texas block, B-head boost. So fun. Yeah, easy shit. Easy. If you want easy Ford build, Texas, built, boost, B-head. See you later. E85, make 1,000. You want 1,000 horsepower capable Coyote? You buy a Gen 2 Coyote and put all pump gears in it. Boost and E85. Damn, Alex, at least give me some credit. I'm even leaving the tuning. Good. Look, James Williams, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. Imagine you've never had Latina pussy, bro. You've only been banging white girls all your life, right? Or black girls. And you hear about this Latina pussy. And you're like, I'm fine with my flat-ass white girl or chubby-ass chick. I'm good. Then, something happens. Then you get your first whiff of that adobo sazon craziness. You're hooked. And you go, where? I thought I had sex. I thought I had sex until I met a Hispanic girl. Look, when you go from a Hispanic girl to a white girl, it's like getting a rental car after driving 1,000 horsepower car all the time. You're like, it goes from point A to point B, but I'm not enjoying it. That's the Coyote. The Coyote is Latin pussy. My dude, been a minute. Get that YouTube money. Thank you, Fabio. The high ram. Twin 67 throttle body. Oh, yeah. You could do the twin 67 throttle body, the VMPY harness, but the tune has to be set up for it, and it should be fine. And now Fox bodies are the 9s with a stock intake Coyote and a stick. Not sure if you care, but it's just a 6. Bought an Inferno Red C6ZR1. Good for him. Did he make a stupid fucking commercial too? In 92, Mopar was on top. Viper Stealth. Stop it. The Talon was a Mitsubishi product. Okay? The Talon, Eagle, TSI was a Mitsubishi product. The Viper? Really? You're bringing the Viper into this? Stop it, Mitch. Mitch, I guarantee, has a mullet or a skullet. Is Twin 67 a big advantage over Twin 65? Fuck no. Literally no difference in horsepower. One says VMP, the other one works. You get spoiled. Yeah, you get spoiled. Latin pussy is something else. Was his car the Buttercup notch running in the mid-10s? I don't know. 700 crack or wheel? 700 crack or wheel? And I have Roadrunner motor in garage. What the fuck did he just say? Alan Lovelace says 700 crack. What the hell happened that I had 650 people all of a sudden? What happened? It went from 560 to 660. That's why they call them basic white chicks. Look, every racer that saw Brett's run look, this is my favorite video. Check it out. This is Brett's run. But I want to show you a very proud machinist. I'm a blue collar guy. I grew up, most of my jobs are blue collar. This is Joe. Okay? Joe, I met him once. Seems fucking chill, bro. Just like fucking chill as shit. Just normal, bro. And he is celebrating after the win. Let's play the video because it's so good. So cool. And this guy right here with the white, gray shirt, blue pants. I don't know if those are Sperry's. I don't know what's going on there. But he's just sitting there taking it all in. Do you know how important this moment was for this guy? He is sitting there just, fuck yeah. I don't know him from a hole in the wall, but goddamn it, that look is a look of like, Fuck everybody. And by the way, Jay from Real Street, proud papa too, right? He sponsors the car, probably helps build it and tune it. And this guy built the engine. You want to talk about two of the, you know what? In terms of Mount Rushmore of Coyote, he has to be there, right? He has to be one of the Mount Rushmore. This guy's a 2JZ everything guy. He does it all. He's super talented. But this guy, to me, I empathize. I feel proud for him, and I don't know him from Adam. But when I see someone just sit there, imagine your competition is billet motors, billet big blocks, and you just sit there and you just go, fuck yeah. Like, I'm gonna savor this. And I think that's what he was doing, right? Like, the moment we go sixes, you know, I'm not gonna scream and yell. I'm gonna remember all the late nights Senior was up working on the car, the times we've literally had fights trying to get this car to go down the track. You understand? I've literally almost quit, like, at a track. Just the frustration, getting under the car, building it, battling wheelies and all this stuff. And the moment that car goes 6.99 with a factory computer, a factory 6R80, you know, cast, we're going to sit there and we're just going to do just like that. We're going to go, no screaming, no yelling, because we ain't got nobody to yell to, okay? You understand? When it comes in the sandbox that we play in, we got nobody to yell to. We ain't got the, take that, motherfucker. We don't got that. We're it. So we'd be like, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Hey, congrats, man. Badass shit. Go back to the pits. Hug Senior. Senior will be crying. I don't know. He's emotional, but that's a good thing. They'll share a hug. I'll see that and go, badass. Coyote motor still in one piece. Didn't pressurize nothing. Having a good time. And then I'm going to say, when the fuck do we stick a 400 in this bitch and push everyone's shit in? You know, you got to have that mentality of like, let's get after it. Everyone's saying we ain't racers. Everyone's saying we ain't shit. Well, let's get out of our own sandbox and let's jump into the big boy sandbox. And we'll see if anyone feels the reverberations in the universe when something like that happens. You'll see. What's your thoughts on gas particulate filters coming to Ford real soon? Again, I've already talked about this ad nauseum, just nonstop. It's coming, just like it's happening in Europe. Europe has GPFs, gas particulate filters, and they're going to regen. And it's going to happen. And if you disable them here, boom, you're tampering. It's officially over for tuning once a GPF shows up. Go ahead and order my whip before I even buy a Mustang. Rental car comment, about to be a short. Nah, Stankbone needs to be on Mount Rushmore. He's the voice of the Mustang community. I mean, I lisp like him now. Wait till I show you what I got going on here when everything gets figured out. You're going to be blown away that I'm even having a show. That dude had the same look when I found my dad was gay. No, seriously. Joe I met, and, you know, Senior and him have actually, because they're close to each other. FFRE and Lund Racing are physically close to each other. So Senior has a shitload of motors and shit. Like, Senior loves to hoard parts. That's why he has a big airplane hangar, okay? He doesn't have big airplane hangars to put his airplane in. He has a big airplane hangar. He has factory Goodyear tires from an 03 Cobra. Like, psycho, right? So he's got a bunch of 350 motors, a bunch of Boss motors, a bunch of Predator blocks. He's got Predator blocks up the ass. The guy is in it to win it. You'll see. Joe Irwin saying, take that, Elon Musk. Damn, 200 people just dropped off. Yeah, that was weird. Would you say staying mode sucks, Ford's dick, or vice versa? I don't think... Stang mode cannot be honest. Stang mode cannot be honest about Ford. That's all I'll say about that. You're right. All Mitsubishi Viper was Shelby. and Viper, yeah, you're right. Mitsubishi was, it's all Mitsubishi and Viper was Shelby. Who has a better lineup in 92? I don't know. 92. Cleet had more Ford-powered cars right now than anything else. Slowly becoming a Ford guy, he'll stick a Coyote in Leroy and people will lose their minds. Wait until he takes a turbo kit off of his F-150. Remember when he had the rear-wheel drive F-150? Oh, golly gee willikers, this thing is the best thing ever. And it just ran a number every time. He goes, this thing is badass. Then he gets his turbo truck, and it's not that badass. It makes 1,000, but it's a turbo. Single. So now, I'm sure people are like, dude, stick a Whipple in it. It's 4-wheel drive. It'll hook on the street. Better 60 foot on the street. Just get a Whipple in it. Watch him get a Whipple in it. Fuel system. I think it already has a fuel system. And he'll be the happiest son of a bitch ever. And he's going to lose audience. He's already down 30% from what I can tell. I don't even get his channel recommended to me anymore. So people are dropping off, and I bet you that the more knowledge he drops, this is the crazy mindfuck that YouTube is, right? The more knowledge, the more Cletus becomes Garrett, the less his audience will appreciate that. The reason I went from YOLO douchebag to Alejandro is because I saw the future. I said, I do not want to be a clown. I do not want to be at a Ruby Tuesday and somebody's like, hey man, it's still real to me, damn it. Can I take a picture? You know, I don't want that. So once he starts getting serious and starts putting Ford stuff in things that works, gets with the right people. Look, have you guys noticed there's like a weird battle between, and again, I'm on the outside looking in. Have you noticed there's a weird battle between his tuner and Steve Morris? Outside looking in. Steve Morris puts out a video that traction control can blow up your shit. And then homeboy comes out with a rebuttal video saying, no, it doesn't. So, Steve has his motor in mullet. Steve wants mullet to win. Pete has to tune Steve's motor. So, if those two are having a weird thing, what's going to happen? This is what I think should happen, right? Pete, the tuner, is the guy. So I'm going to say, if this was your car, what would you do? And he's going to go, well, I build me a motor, I build big block and this and that, or I build it at last, or fuck, still Coyote, and who gives a fuck? You know, whatever he says. Yes, sir. Here's money. Do what you want. Right? Because it's a weird thing that's happening with them two. So you can't have like your motor builder fight your tuner. There has to be cohesiveness there. So when motor builders start talking shit about Lund, and we can prove that the tune is fine because the fucking same tune went 7s in a stock motor built by a UAW dickhead, we now don't want to fucks with them. So I wonder what's going to happen there. I just hope you go to WCF so I can ask you about your calf workout plan. Mac Attack. Or better yet, he's going to yank the SMX out and put a Brett-style motor in it. El Camino, same power, less weight, probably less maintenance. Alex went from YOLO to Nostradamus. YDBT was a great run, but you would have lost the steam eventually. You made the right call. Also makes old vids look great. Nestor Barrios. Leroy's better off now with Pete's motor. Okay, I don't know anything about that, right? Tell me about that. Put me on game. Did the Corvette skeleton thing go from a Texas speed motor to a motor built by the guy Pete? And if it did, how's it running? Fuel Tech is for people who have 3 or 4 backup engines or they build engines. Okay, so it was a Fuel Tech it's a Holly versus Fuel Tech. Steve's Fuel Tech blows shit up, says Johnny Trans. Okay, thank you for getting me up on game. Cletus is down 30% because LS guys are mentally hurt by Coyote. I see Cletus losing a lot of subscribers and likes when he gets into Coyotes more than an LS engines. Correct. And it's not because it's not faster. Imagine you like Garrett as a person and you follow him and you're invested. You bought 3 Pit Vipers and 4 Straw Hats. And you're like, wait, you went from LS to Coyote? Well, I thought you were straight. I was ready to suck your dick until you told me you were straight. With your Coyotes. And they leave him. So now Garrett has to morph into a serious person and go, I want to go fast. So if fast is a Ford engine, I'm going to go Ford engine. I don't care. It's like with Leroy, he kept blowing up Texas 427s. And then Pete built the 380 or so LS base and a D-stroke 400. You're completely wrong. Laughing my ass off. Okay. Your thumbnail is so funny. I'm a Cletus fan too. That's why Cletus got out of the front when the Camino took a shit. He knew default fan was going to go after Pete and Steve. Oh, okay. Why is he wrong, Matt asked? Yeah, what's he talking about? Pete is with Steve if you read the comment. Okay. Got it. Got it. Alex, yes, TSP engine to a Pete built engine. Thank you very much. Cletus has money. That's it. He's talented. He's got talent. He cuts a great light. 321 build or boss motor. Already have the boss motor. Boss motor all day. Keep the boss motor. D-stroke 427 revs to 9100. Went 7.3 and 7.2. I think that. So obviously Pete knows something Texas Speed doesn't, right? Based on his experience. He goes, we don't need cubic inches. We need RPMs. And we need to soften the hit down low because we're having trouble controlling the torque, right? So let's soften the hit down low because you got plenty. And let's make it a high winding motor. You know what else is about 300 cubic inches and high winding? Like Pete, let's take that thought process all the way through. Do you know what else is about 300 cubic inches and revs really high? Oh. He said his FL2k video, the smaller motor that Leroy now has better than the 327, less bang on the low end. Exactly. Brett should shake the roll race classes. Pete redid the Texas Heat 427 for Leroy, 390-ish heads, camera. Real at good at, yeah, I see his videos. It's a shame that a guy that knowledgeable doesn't have 2 million subscribers. Now you see what the YouTube fan base is. So exactly. So imagine Pete goes, you know, Clear, I really wish we could come up with something that's about 300 cubic inches, revs really high, and is a little soft down low, and we can control the power better. What do you think that is? It's a coyote. It's a coyote. You don't want to make... Steve Morris's motor is 570 something cubic inches. The biggest issue they'll have with that car is getting it to hook. Power management. It's going to be a never-ending thing. So, unless that thing has a Pro Mod chassis and a big Goodyear slick in the back, good luck trying to get that sucker to go down the track. They're fast. There's no doubt. But there's a shoe for every foot. Do you know what I am saying? Yeah, the car short track better than ever. I think it went 715 at 196. That's badass. I can't type a comprehensible sentence today besides this one. HVAC fried my brain. Bros motor for better for boost than 321 turbo? Yeah, I think so. Pete built lower displacement solid roller LS engine, 7 liter to 6.6. A TSP engine kept bending rods at 1900 horsepower. People want to be entertained and educated, then educated. People want yee knowledge, idiocracy at its finest. Coyote is the GOAT. Nobody wants to admit it. Alex, if you bought a 13302, what mods would you do to the car? Okay, so if I bought a 13302, it all depends on how nice it was. I really don't want to hack up a nice Boss 302. Let's be honest. I think that's one of those cars that you really don't mess around. But if you buy like a salvage 302 that's been dented and shit, it's going to be the same as Gen 1. Headers, intake, LU47s, E85, and a tune. Instantly. So fun. Headers, stock mufflers, LU47s, a tune, a PMAS, vaya con Dios, and a clutch because it's gonna suck. Pete is about to repackage the Coyote engines with an LS sticker. I'm not a Cletus fan, but that dude can race a speedboat. Those videos are awesome. Okay, short stroke can rev and move around air at high RPM versus an LS revving to 6,500 RPM. I hate to admit it, but it's true. Look at Honda. Pete, put a North Star in it. Says Pat 30. Cleats next vid. Ow my balls. Mango Brain says, is the 5.4 Coyote in the GT4 just a rumor? No, I think it's just a hogged out, bigger piston or stroke Coyote. If Ford decides to sell a 5.4 Coyote that revs to 8,500 RPMs, guys, you don't understand. We are just at the tip of what's possible with Coyotes. Imagine a 5.5 liter, 9,000 RPM, 32 valve Coyote with 40 PSI. It's going to be dumb. It's going to be dumb. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. We had a bunch of people on today. Thank you guys, whoever decided to show up and say hi and watch me talk about FFRE, Brett Lasala, and every Coyote guy that won its class at FL2k. I hope you enjoyed this video. We basically talked about why the Coyote engine is an elite motor and it cannot be denied any longer. With propelling a 3,000-pound car to 630 at 224 miles an hour, that is impressive by any standard, any motor, any chassis, anywhere, based on how that car is configured. So congratulations to him, FFRE, and all the guys that won at FL2k with Coyote stuff. If you are considering a Billy badass car and you have LS on your mind, you have big block billet stuff on your mind, you might want to start looking at Coyotes. Do your research. Hit me up on Patreon. Hey, become a Patreon subscriber and ask me questions. And I have access, not to everything, but if I don't know the answer, I have access to people that have the answers. If you have any questions or anything like that, $15 a month to become a Patreon subscriber. And we can just, I literally chat with people all day, have an app on my phone so I can ask you questions at any time, and I upload exclusive content to that platform, chats, live streams, and just videos just to keep you entertained for $15 a month. I'm out of here, guys. Thank you very much. Long video, but a good time giving you as much information as possible. I'll be back on Thursday, YDBT Daily. We'll see what happens between now and then. We'll see if there's any fallout from this video, and we'll talk about it. And we'll probably talk about more about Ford trying to leave the supercar Australian league or whatever the fuck they have because they're just not competing with older Camaros. Have a good night. See you guys later. Bye.